Good night, peace to the collective. Just wanted to make this video. Is inspired by shitty service from Pollo Tropical here. Come here quite often, or come to different Pollo Tropicals quite often. And what I notice is, even in business, you could see the difference of a company that has shitty service and how it performs in the market compared to one that doesn't. Now, in this case, it's just a person that's having shitty service. She's playing her music, and you could hear the music over the loudspeakers, so it's hard to hear her. And then, she even fucks up your order, and it's just like, listen, I asked for a large drink, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, what if I did that to my customers? And I've done it before to my customers, I'm not gonna lie. But what happens after the fact is I see where I have my problem, I explain the issues that I have when I'm trying to get everything going, and then I resolve it. Well, what happens when you provide shitty service and then still have a shitty attitude after the fact and start mumbling under your breath, like this woman just did here a moment ago? What does that do to the longevity of your product and your service? What does that do to your reputation to other people? Will they start to recommend you? Will they start to go back there? Will you get complaints about your service? I mean, you're in a bad mood for one reason or another, or you don't want to listen to what somebody has to say, and guess what? That could affect your bottom line. Somebody could just be like, well, you know what? Listen, man, I don't want to deal with this person anymore, or I've had too many complaints about you, and that causes you to lose. That causes you to have or be terminated from a contract, from a job, from maybe even a consulting gig. Same thing as a contract. So it's like, I think it's very important that we focus on customer service. Even when I work with the salon, again, I try to turn lemon into lemonades here, or lemons into lemonade, because I want to understand this, and I want to see how me acting that same way to somebody could affect my bottom line. And I work in a business where customer service, if it's not up to par or up to a certain standard that the customer is expecting, for me charging $50 to $125 an hour, I'm not going to be able to charge that. They're not going to give me the money. The same thing with the salon. If I'm charging, say, $200 per week per seat, depending on the space, if it's a private room or not, they're going to look at me like I'm a freaking idiot and say, hey, listen, Mike, you're charging too much for the space, and you're not giving me what I need. Even recently, my business partner, sometimes he sells people a dream, or he says one or two things where I don't totally always support, or I'll be like, hey, listen, man, why did you say that if you can't procure it, or you haven't even made contingencies to say, hey, if you don't get it, what's gonna happen? I guess he talked and mentioned, or maybe even promised an item to one of our stylist tenants, a new one. And, she's asking me over and over again, hey, I don't mean to annoy, blah, blah, blah. And generally, like, it's understood that she really wants it, because the thing that she can get, it's a hair steamer. If she can get that, then it can actually be more services for her clients. And again, you said it. So I always told my business partner from a while back when we started, I will support you. I will be the ground beneath your feet, and you be Atlas that holds up the world, in this case, the salon. And I said, okay, no problem, let's just do this. Or often I say, okay, no problem, let's just fix this. So in this case, hey, you haven't come up with this, and these ladies have been here for about 4 weeks. And then he's like, you know what, man, let's just go ahead and buy it. And I was like, all right, cool. It's $130. I wish we would have got to that point a little bit sooner, but it is what it is. At least we got to the point where we're like, okay, this is an issue. We're trying to, I focus mainly on fulfillment, retention, and ensuring that everybody is fine with the level of service and product that is being offered. So it's like, my job is to make sure that they can do their job and they have an environment that they actually like. It's very important to me. So what I did after that, I said, hey, listen, man, like, let's go ahead and do something. He was like, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and buy it. And I was like, great idea. Let's go ahead and do that. So we went ahead and bought it. And now, we went ahead and bought it. And now it should be on its way and should be here in a week or so, by next week. So that's going to be great. And I told the person that, hey, listen, this is here or this is coming. Thank you very much for your patience. Now, even though it took us a long time, at least at the end of it all, and I'm hoping this, and I've seen it before, at least at the end of it all, they say, hey, you gave us what we wanted, or you fulfilled your promise, in a sense. And sometimes that's all we have to do is just fulfill our promise. Do the best we can to try and offer the best customer service. And that will allow the customer, even if you allow the customer or the tenant in this case, to actually justify, well, you know what? These guys work hard. They do this, they do that. Some people don't really care at all, but they keep their word. It isn't, oh, you know, you're just collecting money from me and you don't care. It's a value-added service, or I've added value to the service or to the product, which is known as just space in a salon. And that's important. And I see this, I see I see there's just the blatant disrespect in this person. I'm letting her know, I'm like, hey, listen, you know, it's a Haitian lady, I'm Black Jamaican, you know, like, or I'm Jamaican, so that usually infers Black. Anyways, but I'm Jamaican, and I'm saying, hey, listen, you know, I can hear your radio over the loudspeaker. Maybe you should turn that down because it's hard to hear you with that speaker. And then all she says is the price. And I'm like, okay. And then the drink she gives me, the size, is a small. And I'm like, hey, listen, I asked for a large. Case in point, somebody just told you a problem or an issue in your product and the way you provide your service and how it could affect your service, or possibly point out that it could be affecting your service. And then it actually affected your service. And the problem is people aren't listening. Or another issue, I should say, is people aren't listening. I have the same issue with people that are around me, whether it be tenants, customers, even personal relationships. And if people will just listen to you, myself included, sometimes I've been stubborn, but now I usually just take everything, and even though sometimes I don't want to listen, I listen anyway, because the person could really be giving me some type of jewel, some type of gem, some type of information that can actually assist me in what I want to do in my life. And it's very important. It's very important to make that actually happen. Or to actually listen to those things so that you can actually make strides in your actual, in your business or what have you. And if you don't, I mean, sometimes the people around you are there to help you, make yourself better in a shorter period of time. Whether you know it or not, they can make you better in a shorter period of time. And this goes back to something like, you know, raising wages for minimum wage workers. Well, it's just like, you know, look at what you're doing. Are you offering a service that can't be easily replaced by somebody younger, possibly smarter, and more willing to actually work than you are? And some people don't understand that. So when I can't help but laugh when I see the fact that we're seeing more and more in the terms of automation, and more in the terms of people just saying, hey, I don't really need to deal with your BS anymore. Like, I can turn, you're going to see it, you know, as it comes more and more online, that more of these, or you're going to see an increased amount of cashierless checkout stations. It's going to be one cashier across 10 different stations. You've seen it already in Walmart. And it's going to increase. It's going to get bigger. You don't need people like that. And if these people start giving you bad service, you can literally look at them and be like, no big deal. You'll be replaced. And the person that replaces you will not be playing music to the point where they can't hear you over the loudspeaker. The person that replaces you, or the thing that replaces you, will get my order right the first time and every time after that. Think about that going into 2019, how you can actually do that, how you can make yourself better, how you can make yourself better in terms of putting yourself in a better position so you do not get replaced, so your job is actually worth it. Or prep yourself for getting replaced, because it's gonna happen. Listen, I wish you all a happy new year. For me, it's just another day. It's just a change of the calendar. So now I got to write 2019 instead of 2018. I have work to do. There's more than enough business and things like that and other issues that I've had to handle. I haven't posted in a long time, and that's mainly because I've just been handling a lot. You know, I had to buy a lot of things. Because we're going to start selling candy in a vending machine recently. That's like $400, so that's like, you know, but we're looking at 124% return on that money, which is great. So we're going to get our initial investment. We're going to double our initial investment, plus more over that. Finding ways to make our business better, make our product better, actually keeping up with bills and other issues. Dealing with moving of customers. So there's a lot that I had to do these past few weeks, but it's actually great because I had the strength to do it. I had the energy to do it. I had the support structure to get it done in a timely fashion, and now it's time to write invoices and chill out. So I wish you guys all the best. Please be safe out there. It's going to be New Year's in the next couple hours and everything like that. And just listen to the people that are out there that are actually helping you, whether they know it or not, or whether you know it or not. You know, keep an ear out, keep an ear open, keep your eyes open. 2019 is going to be a year of, a continuance of the wealth transfer. Where are you? Are you diversified in multiple verticals? You know, I'm in computer consulting and programming and coding. Not so much on the programming and coding part in terms of making money, but I plan to do more in the year 2019. I'm also in the beauty industry by doing a salon. I want to break back into the cleaning industry. I talk about that all the time. But that's just another vertical that just, depends on business. Real estate might go down, so I might lose a customer, but things will pick up in other places because of diversification. Being in cryptocurrencies, and doing things to invest even in precious metals as well. And keeping my eyes open in other areas just so I can actually make improvements on myself and make improvements on my, quote unquote, business portfolio, getting to the ghetto holy trinity of businesses, and actually getting something like that going, which is a laundromat for my if you don't know what that is, that's a Subway, a laundromat, and oh man, I think there's another one. It's not a salon, but a liquor store. That's it. Liquor store, Subway, and a laundromat. If I get into all three of those businesses, literally you can pretty much, I think you could retire off of that and make quite a bit of money. It works with vices, and sadly, it's just prevalent in our community and other communities. So if you can get into all those different verticals, it's definitely going to be something that is going to be beneficial for you. And try your best to stay out of bad debt. I can't say stay out of debt, period. I'm doing well in paying off a lot of my smaller debts and going up to my larger ones as well. And I'm also doing well in terms of managing money for myself and my businesses. So that's, I'm trying to keep myself and my business partners in a state of heightened, how would you say, state of heightened vigilance, or just being vigilant in our bottom line and making sure nothing crosses that bottom line drastically, and trying to keep ourselves afloat. There's quite a few things that we are behind on, but we're working on that, and then of course keeping everything else going as well. So with all that, I hope you guys have a great 2019, and watch out for ways to make money, because literally the money's going to be falling from the sky, and the floor is going to be falling out from beneath you. So be careful. And as always, thank you.